Joy has come to the world. Let earth receive her King. Today, believers around the globe celebrate that truth once more. We look back and try to imagine what it must have been like before that first Christmas in Bethlehem. What was it like to spend your life wondering when Messiah would arrive? Generations lived and died waiting for the prophecy to become reality, believing and praying. From the time Adam and Eve left Eden, sin created chaos and pain in the world. But God had a plan to rescue and redeem. Along the way, He gave us glimpses of the salvation that would come. When Abraham laid Isaac on the altar, it was like heaven saying, "Pay attention to this sacrifice." When Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, it was God's plan unfolding. What man meant for evil, God meant for good. And later, when Israel cried out from bondage in Egypt, God sent a deliverer named Moses to lead them to the promised land. They would face 40 years of wandering in rebellion in the desert before another deliverer named Joshua would take the people into the land. But even in the freedom and abundance there, they faced enemies around them and enemies within their own hearts. A long line of prophets told them again and again that Yahweh's ultimate answer to their sin, a Messiah, would come one day.
Jesus, how we need you. Oh, how much we need you. Hear the cry of desperate souls. You're the promised rescue. Our deliverance come true. Jesus, you're our only hope.
Men of vision and courage warned of the consequences of not worshiping God and God alone. Yet the chosen people could not seem to resist chasing after everything God said was wrong for them. The prophets predicted destruction, and yet there was also the promise of a righteous king who would reign over a perfect, everlasting kingdom. But Jerusalem fell. The temple was destroyed, and the people were sent into exile. And then God fell silent. A silence that challenged the faith and hope of every Jewish man, woman, and child. A silence that lasted for 4 long centuries. Oh, but finally the moment came for joy and hope and love to break through the silence with a cry of a newborn baby and the hallelujahs of angels. God's plan to rescue His people was alive and breathing.
For thy people to deliver, born a child and yet a king.
In the greatest miracle of all, God became a baby. A feeding trough held the King of Kings. And God's plan to reconcile us to Himself fell into place here on earth where we could see Him, touch Him, and know Him. The child Jesus grew, and He was the love of God in the flesh. He would live the life we could not live, die a death we deserved, and then conquer the grave. And so today we celebrate Emmanuel, God with us once again. As many as receive him and believe in his name, to us he gives the right to become children of God.
Jesus, how we need